morning, students. Hope you would have seen the presentation on the solid state. That was the first chapter in class 12 chemistry. But due to some reasons, we are switching over to our second chapter, that is solutions. Solution chapter is chapter 2nd of class 12 chemistry NCERT textbook. We shall consider solid state later. Now, as we go to the solution chapter, some important things what you have already seen or already learned in class 9th, you have to recapitulate them. Like for example, as we consider a solution, we know it is a homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous means its properties are uniform throughout. Solution can be defined as a homogeneous solution whose concentration can be varied within limits. We have generally two components of a solution. One is the solvent, the other one is the solute. How do we define a solvent and a solute? We know a solvent is that component of the solution whose amount is higher, which has higher concentration. A solute is that component of the solution whose concentration is in lower amounts. For example, we say salt solution, sugar solution, etc. Salt solution means salt dissolved in water, say sodium chloride dissolved in water. Sodium chloride is the solute and water is our solvent. Sugar solution means sugar is the solute and water is the solvent. Generally, such solutions are known by the name of aqueous solutions. Aqueous means the solvent here is water. We also have binary solutions. Binary solutions means those solutions in which only two components are present. Maybe one is the solute, the other is the solvent. We have other types of solutions also. Now, on the basis of physical state, solutions can be classified into different categories. Like we know, aquatic organisms, they take oxygen which is dissolved in water. They are liquid solutions. Alloys, amalgam, they are all solid solutions. Mixture of two gases, they are gaseous solutions, etc. In this chapter, one important point that we have to discuss is about expressing the concentration of solutions. Here solution in the sense we consider aqueous solution in most of the cases. Aqueous solution means a solution in which water acts as the solvent. Let us consider the different terms which are used to express the concentration of solution. First one, concentration means how much amount of the solute is dissolved in what amount of the solvent. You would have learned in smaller classes, that means in class 9, that we have on the basis of amount of solute, we can classify them into saturated solution, unsaturated solution and supersaturated solution. The different concentration terms used to express concentration of solution are: number 1 is mass percentage. This has been already dealt with in class 9. You may know mass percentage of any solution is mass of the solute divided by mass of the solution multiplied by 100. That is mass percentage with respect to the solute. We can even consider mass percentage with respect to the solvent. In that case, mass percentage will be equal to mass of the solvent divided by mass of the solution multiplied by 100. That is the first term, that is mass percentage. Mass percentage is mass of that particular substance. Generally, we prefer the solute because the amount of solute in the solution is considerably lower. Solvent is having higher amounts. So, mass percentage is defined as mass of the solute divided by mass of the solution multiplied by 100. If we take aqueous solution, then the mass of the solution means mass of the solute plus mass of the solvent. Solvent here generally we consider water. In majority of the cases, water acts as the solvent. The second concentration term which is commonly used is molarity. Molarity. Molarity is defined as the number of moles of the solute present in 1 liter of the solution. Molarity means number of moles of solute present in 1 liter of the solution. We can express it as molarity is equal to number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in the unit of liters. In case the volume unit is given in milliliter, in that case we have to divide it by 1000 so as to convert it into liter. So molarity again can be defined as number of moles of solute divided by volume of the solution in liters. Definition is molarity is defined as number of moles of the solute present in 1 liter of the solution. In 1 liter, how many moles of solute is present? You will be familiar with the term moles. Mole refers to, in any case we can calculate number of moles as given mass upon molar mass. Given mass means what is given in the question, and molar mass is known from its chemical formula. Number 3 is molality. Molality is another term which is defined as number of moles of solute present in 1 kilogram of the solvent. Once again, molality is defined as number of moles of solute present in 1 kilogram or 1000 gram of the solvent. That can be written as molality is equal to number of moles of solute divided by weight of the solvent in kilogram. In case expressed in gram, then divided by 1000 so as to convert it into kilogram. Let us consider the unit of molarity, our second concentration term. Molarity is expressed as number of moles of solute by volume of the solution in liter. Number of moles is given by the unit of mol, and the denominator unit is volume, which is expressed here in liter. Hence, the unit of molarity is mole per liter. Hope it is clear. Molarity means number of moles of solute by volume of the solution in liter. Number of mole is represented as mol unit divided by the volume term is expressed in the unit of liters. Hence, the unit of molarity is mole per liter. The third one, that is molality. Molality is number of moles of the solute present in 1 kilogram of the solvent. Hence, unit will be, for number of moles, it will be mol. mol is the unit, and the weight of the solvent is expressed in kilogram. Hence, unit of molality will be mole per kilogram. The fourth one is mole fraction. The term fraction as such shows a value which is less than 1. Mole fraction, suppose we consider a binary solution. As we have seen, a binary solution is something which contains only 2 components. Normally we consider one as the solute, the other one as the solvent. So mole fraction is expressed as number of moles of one component divided by total number of moles in the solution. In the solution, total number of moles means number of moles of solvent plus that of the solute. Mole fraction means number of moles of one component, that means solute or the solvent, divided by number of moles of solute plus solvent. Being expressed as a concentration term, we always express the mole fraction in terms of a fractional value which is constant. Mass percentage is usually expressed by putting the percentage unit symbol. You may please go through page number 34 and 35 of your textbook. 34 and 35 pages show these concentration terms, how to express concentration of solution in detail. Please go through the different concentration terms. That is, first term is mass percentage. Second term is molarity. Third term is molality. The fourth one is mole fraction. The fifth one more term mentioned is ppm, that is parts per million, is defined as number of parts of solute present in million parts by mass of the solution. This is usually expressed for very dilute solutions. In most of these cases, in numericals, what we work out in this particular chapter, usually we consider the other units preferably. So here parts per million shows the number of parts of solute present per million parts by mass of the solution. Remember, usually applicable for very dilute solutions. You may please go through. There are certain worked out examples in page number 36 of your textbook. The first one is calculate the mole fraction of ethylene glycol in a solution containing 20% of C2H6O2 by mass. C2H6O2 by mass, C2H, that is given ethylene glycol, its formula given. You are supposed to calculate the mole fraction of ethylene glycol in a solution containing 20% of ethylene glycol by mass. By mass actually shows the concentration which is expressed in mass percentage. You are given 20% by mass of ethylene glycol means we usually convert them into gram. Therefore, we have to take 20 gram of ethylene glycol is present. Hope it is clear. When you consider 20% or 10% or 25% of any particular substance, for calculation what we do is we convert this percentage into gram. Hence, 20% of the solution here means 20 gram of that particular substance. What will be the remaining substance? If this is the solute, the other one will be the solvent. Solvent will be having a concentration of 80%. If 20% is that of the solute ethylene glycol, the remaining 80% is that for the solvent, because we are expressing it in percentage, the maximum value being 100. Therefore, 20% of the solution means 20 gram of that particular substance and remaining 80% or 80 gram of the other substance, which is our solvent. Hope you have understood. So, here what we have to find out is, we have mole fraction of ethylene glycol to be calculated from 20% of ethylene glycol is present. Therefore, mass of ethylene glycol given in the question should be taken as 20 gram. Mass of ethylene glycol as per the question is 20 gram. What will be the mass of water in this question? Mass of water, that is 80%. Therefore, mass is 80 gram. Understood? So, the number of moles can be written as, we know number of moles is given mass by molar mass. Given mass means given in the question, that is our 20 gram divided by ethylene glycol C2H6O2. If you calculate the molar mass, it comes to 62 gram per mole. Therefore, number of moles of ethylene glycol is equal to 20 divided by 62. That is the number of moles of one component. Similarly, as you calculate the same for water, it will be, as you consider the same for water, number of moles of water will be equal to 80 divided by molar mass of water, that is 18. Hence, we calculate the number of moles in both the cases. Mole fraction of one component is calculated as, say, mole fraction is expressed as chi, or say similar to our alphabet X, which is equal to number of moles of ethylene glycol divided by total number of moles of ethylene glycol plus number of moles of water. So, the number of moles of ethylene glycol, we have calculated the value divided by sum of the other two. Similarly, we can calculate the number of mole fraction of water as the number of moles of water divided by the total value, that is number of moles of ethylene glycol plus that of water. Since we know there are only two components in this solution, if you calculate mole fraction of one component, there is a relation for calculating mole fraction of the second component. That is, suppose x1 is the mole fraction of one component. Assume x2 as the mole fraction of the second component. We can see that if you take x1 plus x2, the sum x1 plus x2, value will be equal to 1. Suppose there are three components in a solution, then x1 plus x2 plus x3 will be also equal to 1. So the sum of mole fractions of n number of components present in a solution will be equal to 1. The sum total is equal to 1. That is regarding mole fraction. So in this particular case, after calculating the mole fraction of ethylene glycol, we can even calculate the mole fraction of water by subtracting this value from 1. That is 1 minus mole fraction of ethylene glycol will be equal to the mole fraction of water. Hope it is clear. Please go through the question once again. Coming to example 2.2, which is even a worked out example. You are asked to calculate the molarity of the solution containing 5 gram sodium hydroxide in 450 ml solution. What all are given in the question? You have to express it first. You are given 5 gram sodium hydroxide. That is the given mass of sodium hydroxide in the question. Immediately what should be calculated is the number of moles. Number of moles of sodium hydroxide is 5 divided by the molar mass of sodium hydroxide, that is 40. That is the number of moles of sodium hydroxide given in the question. Secondly, you are given volume of the solution as 450 ml. We know while expressing the molarity of any particular solution, volume should be expressed in liters. Volume has to be expressed in liter. Therefore, here molarity is equal to number of moles of sodium hydroxide divided by volume of the solution in liters. Therefore, number of moles is 5 upon 40 divided by the volume of the solution is 450 ml. That should again be divided by 1000. Therefore, you will get the value as 0.278. Hope the two questions are clear. You are asked to calculate the mole fraction in one case and molarity in the second case. You should know the definition of these two terms, especially molarity, since the term molarity is even well related to our practicals also. We are preparing a molar solution and then estimating it. Therefore, the term molarity is of very high significance. See the third one. You are asked to calculate the molality of 2.5 gram ethanoic acid in 75 gram of benzene. 2.5 gram ethanoic acid is CH3COOH given. 2.5 gram ethanoic acid is 2.5 is the given mass of ethanoic acid. Molar mass of ethanoic acid is to be calculated. Divide the given mass by molar mass, we are getting the number of moles. So, number of moles of ethanoic acid can be calculated. Then, you are given 75 gram of benzene. Benzene here is the solvent. Ethanoic acid is our solute being less in amount, and benzene is our solvent being larger in amount. One which is present in small amounts is our solute. The other one which is present in larger amount is our solvent. Therefore, 2.5 gram ethanoic acid acts as the solute. 75 gram benzene acts as the solvent. So, after calculating the number of moles of ethanoic acid, you may even calculate the number of moles of the mass of benzene is given. Therefore, molality can be written as number of moles of ethanoic acid divided by weight of benzene in kilogram. Here you are given 75 gram. Therefore, convert 75 gram into kilogram by dividing it by 1000. That 1000 comes to the numerator. Hope it is clear. Once again, you may go through these three worked out examples, numericals based on molarity, molality and mole fraction. Familiarize with these questions well. They are important in examination point of view. You are even given the in-text questions on page number 37 of your textbook. There are 5 questions mentioned over there which has to be done as assignment questions. In your notebook itself, you are asked to calculate the mass percentage of benzene, mole fraction of benzene, molarity, mass of urea, etc. 5 different questions are given for you to work out. You have to work out. The assignments have to be submitted through Google Classroom itself as and when it is told. Please go through these particular topics again and again. You should familiarize. Another thing, when you consider water, water is a universal solvent, you may know. In such cases, suppose we write the sulfuric acid solution as 98% sulfuric acid. We know 98% means immediately we are converting it to gram. 98% is equivalent to 98 gram of sulfuric acid. What is the percentage water here? We consider aqueous solution. It is only 2%, we know. 98% of something, rest is only 2. That 2% is for water. Here on the basis of our definition, we know something which is present in large amount should be considered as the solvent. One which is present in less amount should be taken as a solute. But in this particular case, water being assigned the title of universal solvent, whatever be the amount of water present in an aqueous solution, water should necessarily be considered as the solvent. Whether it is 2% or 5% or 10% or less than 50%, water should always be considered as the solvent because water is the universal solvent. Because of the priority or privilege assigned to water, we always take in any aqueous solution, we take water as the solvent. Provided it is an aqueous solution, then whatever be the amount of water present in the solution, water is necessarily to be considered as the solvent. Another thing, one more point to be recollected is, suppose a solution is given without mentioning say water as the solvent, specifically is not mentioned, still we have to consider them as aqueous solution. Unless otherwise, in the question it is provided that chloroform acts as a solvent or say benzene acts as a solvent, carbon tetrachloride acts as a solvent, and if nothing in particular is given in the question regarding the nature of the solvent, we will assign that particular solution as an aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means water acts as the solvent. Hope you will recollect all these particular things, all these concepts what you have learned today. The first one is related to our definition for a solution. A solution is defined as a homogeneous mixture or homogeneous solution of 2 or more components. Solution is homogeneous mixture of 2 or more different components. Generally, the 2 components what we have are solvent as well as the solute. We also have termed the binary solution in which only 2 components are there. Suppose we mix along with water salt and sugar present in water. We have 2 solutes and 1 solvent. That is a ternary solution. So binary in the sense only 2 substances or 2 components are present. One should be taken as a solvent, the other should be taken as the solute. The different concentration terms used to express the concentration of solution. Number 1 is mass percentage. Definition: mass of one component to the, it is the ratio of mass of one component to the total mass of the solution. Number 2, molarity. Molarity is defined as number of moles of solute present in 1 liter of the solution. Number 3, molality. Molality means number of moles of solute present in 1 kilogram of the solvent. 4, mole fraction. Mole fraction means number of moles of one component divided by total number of moles present in the solution. Number 5, parts per million. Parts per million is usually a term which is used to express very dilute solution. Parts per million means number of parts of the solute present in 1 million part by mass of the solution. Some 2 or more important things that has to be memorized in this particular chapter. Number 1, provided nothing in particular of the solution is being given, we have to take it as an aqueous solution in which water acts as the solvent. Number 2, in any aqueous solution, whatever be the percentage or amount of water present, we have to necessarily consider water as our solvent. Like for example, 98% sulfuric acid shows only 2% water, but 2 gram of water acts as a solvent here. 63% nitric acid means 63 gram of nitric acid is our solute, and the remaining amount, that is 37 gram of water, will act as a solvent. Whatever be the amount of water present in the particular solution, whether it is less than 50, still we have to consider water as our solvent. Hope it is clear. Please go through these many topics. This is the second chapter of our class 12, that is solution. You may also note down regarding saturated, unsaturated and supersaturated solutions. Saturated solution means a particular solution in which no more amount of the solute can be added at a definite temperature. Unsaturated solution means below this particular point of saturation, it was unsaturated because we are able to add more and more of the solute in the given solution. Supersaturated solutions usually are prepared by increasing the temperature. As we increase the temperature, we are capable of adding more of the solute present in the given solution. Such type of solutions are referred to as supersaturated solutions. So these many things you have to familiarize. Please note down in your notebook. These many things are to be mentioned regarding solution, the concentration of solutions, expressing the concentration of solution, the numericals which are worked out, as well as the in-text questions given on page number 37. Hope the points are clear. Thank you. We'll meet again. By the time you should complete your work. Okay.